Hey guys, Charlotte here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins, and it's the second Hunger Games of the Hunger Games trilogy. And let me just say, this is a gush video. I loved this book so much. Need a moment. Okay, so this book sort of just follows where the Hunger Games left off. It was probably like, I don't think they actually said it, but it was like maybe a month or so after the Hunger Games. I don't know, they didn't say, but it was a little while later, not too long, but stuff. And what happens is they just get thrown back into the whole system. They it's called the quarter quell, and it's every quarter, 25, 50, 75, and this is the 75th year of the Hunger Games, so it's the quarter quell, and they instead of just doubling the amount of tributes, they took victors that had won, and they put them all back in the ring to fight, and Peeta and Katniss are back there. And at the end, it's just sort of, everything just sort of is falling apart, because you know how in the first book they covered the act that all the districts are starting to rebel, and they just cover that a lot. That's the main underlying thing, that the whole world is sort of, the world as they know it is sort of starting to crumble a little bit, and Katniss is the spark. The match to the spark to the match, and she doesn't even realize it, sort of, but yeah, and it's just pretty epic. I have to say first off that I'm a Peeta and Katniss fan. I'm not a Gale and Katniss fan, and I loved the Peeta and Katniss scenes in here. In the first book, they were just like, sort of like, didn't understand anything about, they didn't understand what was going on with each other, sort of, but now they're starting to, like, Katniss is Katniss is starting to, like, realize her feelings, I can tell, and I love this. I am so excited for the movie later on. So, I just want to say the plot, I mean, I thought when I first heard that they were going to be back in the ring, like in the Hunger Games again, I was sort of like, oh, that again? Like, they're really doing that again? Ugh. But they actually made it into a really good plot, because she sort of worked it to the advantage, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was definitely, like, you might think that, but it was actually a good plot turn. It was sort of, this one wasn't, it was still about surviving, but it was also about like old pathways. Does that make sense? Like, cause all these people, like the other victors, they sort of knew them. Like, they sort of had their stories with them, and Katniss was sort of struggling with part of it, like saying, like, she couldn't decide who to kill, I guess. Like, she was having trouble with, like, the fact that she'd had to kill these people who were her friends eventually. And, you know, Rue's death in the first book, that was sort of like a shock, but at least she didn't have to do it. And how do I say this? This was also about survival, but it was also about the emotions, about what happens with the games, and how it really affected her, sort of. And also in the games, each arena has like a theme. This one had a really awesome theme, and I'm not going to give it away, but I just want to say that this theme was really awesome, and it was really creative. It was like an awesome theme that I never would have thought of. I wouldn't have thought of it, but yeah, and it was just pretty epic. Also, the names in this book, like, if Katniss and Peeta weren't already crazy enough, there were some weird names. There was BT and Wireless, and I was like, is that real? I thought it was Wireless for like half the book, and then I looked and it was Wireless, and I was like, oh, that makes a little more sense. So I just say that this book was definitely a 5 out of 5 star, and you should read it, but remember, this is the second one, so remember to read The Hunger Games first, because it won't make sense if you start reading the second book. These are the 2 books that I'll be reviewing next. Of course, I'm going to start reading Mockingjay. I got it at Walmart for $13. But I'm also, since this is a library book, so I need to start it soon. It's All American Girl by Meg Cabot. It's sort of a series, but there's only 2 of them. This is the first one, and so there's another one. But yeah, I'm gonna start reading these 2, and